Hi friends, Jennifer here with Jen Open Hearts, and today I wanted to talk about a topic that I feel is very multifaceted, but it's something that's really important, and I believe that it's something that we can all benefit from. So the topic is about nourishment, and I think nourishment is a really beautiful word. It's super wholesome, and you may know this, but I really love a system called the Gene Keys, and so the Gate 27 is what it's called, but it's essentially the pearl, or like the purpose or the space of abundance for myself is all about nourishment. And so I've been really contemplating on what this word means to me, and it's been a really beautiful investigation. And so nourishment, initially off the bat, for me it really relates to food, right? That's the first thing that comes to mind, is nutrition and what am I ingesting. And I think that's a beautiful place to start, because to be nourished means that you have like almost a wholesomeness, and there's a wholeness that comes from that experience of physically taking something from the outside world and making it a part of you. So what's really beautiful is that eating is the number one way that we can influence our overall health and well-being, eating and ingesting, because we're taking something physically from our outside world, we're preparing it, we're cooking it, we're chopping it, whatever we need to do with it, and then we're putting it in our body, and then it becomes us, it becomes our cells, it becomes our vitality, it becomes the parts of us. And our bodies are so intelligent and so beautiful that everything gets distributed where it needs to go, and then we have the process of letting go, right, through going to the bathroom, right? So it's like every day we go through this process of eating because we want to be alive and survive and have nourishment and have vitality and health and well-being and all this beautiful stuff. So it's really profound, and it's life-changing once you start thinking about food in that manner. Like, instead of like, oh my God, I have to eat something, it's like, wait, what do I need to feel nourished? What is nourishing for me? And I do believe that there are some core fundamentals to eating. I do believe that we all have our own internal compass, that our bodies, if we are in tune enough and we're letting go of the noise and really leaning into the deep signal of ourselves, then then we can really understand what is good for us. And it's our own experiment, right? Our bodies are our sovereign state. It's the us that we know the most, right? We can go to doctors and they can say X, Y, Z, but we know our bodies the most. We know the most about our bodies. It's just that we have to listen. We have to tune into how we feel after we eat certain things. We have to look at, what are the predispositions that we might have. Like, maybe there are some genetic things that are happening. Maybe you're dealing with some health ailments. Maybe you're not moving enough. Maybe you're feeling sluggish. Maybe you're noticing some things happening on your skin and the surface of your body. That's essentially your body telling you, hey, something you're giving me is not aligning with what I really want and what I really desire. So it's a lot of fun, and it's really, I think, helpful to look at it as a game, almost like your own problem solving, and not being too strict and too harsh on yourself, but to really ask yourself every time you're eating, like, how can I be nourished? Is this nourishing for me? How did my body feel the last time I ate this? Am I eating something that comes out of a processed bag, or this or that? Is it wholesome? What do the ingredients look like? And just knowing and taking pride and joy and beauty in this understanding that eating can be an act of self-love. Eating can be an act of showing the body how much you love it. And so, if you want to eat that thing that you think is not good for you, sometimes that's okay too. Like, I don't want to make it into this judicial system, but I really do want to encourage like body sovereignty, and knowing that you can trust yourself and you can trust your body and trust how you feel. And for myself personally, as someone who's on the path of really wanting to nourish the body as best as I can all the time, as often as possible. I need to make sure I'm still filming, because hang on. Okay, I am. Because it's beautiful. And for me, just kind of changing my perception and saying like, wow, when I eat, it's showing myself how much I love myself. And it's not always perfect. It's not always like the best meal on the plate, but it's something that I really pride myself in. And I think it's something that we truly do all have access to, doing the best we can with what we have available. What does your budget look like for food? Where are you spending money at? Where can you maybe pivot some of your expenses into what you're ingesting? Does it make you feel good after you eat it? And these are all really wonderful questions that we can ask ourselves. And I don't really think that there's one diet for everyone. I think what's really cool about nutrition is that it's becoming more and more personalized. Like there's ways that we can connect with, like my husband and I just got a thing called Inside Tracker. And so it's a blood test, and then we're able to see like, wow, things that I can do to improve my overall health and vitality. And it's nice to take this like quantifiable information, but it's also good to come back into the body, into the physical body, and be like, wow, I ate, what did I eat? I'm trying to think of something I ate recently that was like, ooh, I can't think of anything right now. But I think we all have our different spaces and things that we just know it doesn't feel right in our bodies, and we can trust in that. We can trust in the information that's presented to us, but we can also trust in the information that our body is telling us. So some practices that I think are really beneficial is essentially like sitting with your food before you start to eat, and really like understanding your plate. What's on your plate? Is it too much? Is it too little? Does it feel right? Are you eating from a place of emotional scarcity? Or there's this really beautiful butterfly that just loves flying around my yard today. Are you eating from, maybe you're really thirsty and you need to hydrate first? So it's like, are you eating unconsciously? And how can you make it into this very sensual and nourishing practice of just slowing down, of taking time, of chewing the food, of feeling your body being satiated, of nourishing yourself through that wholesome action of feeding yourself, noticing the textures, slowing down. My husband and I like to do like 3 deep breaths before we start eating, and it's been very transformative. It's something that I don't always consciously pop into, but when I'm able to, it feels like love, and it feels like a form of love. And that's not a mentality I grew up with at all. It was more like, hey, there's some frozen pot pies, fish sticks. What else do we eat? Just some what we would label as like the standard American diet, which is also dubbed the acronym SAD. So it's like, how can we use our resources to nourish ourselves in the best way possible? And I think it truly is something that we can all do in small leaps and bounds, and just by paying attention to what's in your food, what's on the ingredients. Is it whole? Where can you plant your own food? Where can you go to a market? Where can you trade with someone? Meal prep with someone. So that's one of my themes for nourishment, is like, what are you ingesting? So in my next video, I want to talk a little bit about other ways that we can ingest, and what does nourishment mean from these other spaces that aren't just about the physical body. But I hope this kind of helps you put in perspective how you can really treat your body with love and awareness and kindness through the food. And like I said, that question I really love to ask myself is this nourishing? Am I going to feel nourished by this? Is this food an act of love? Again, am I being conscious when I'm eating it? And I'm not speaking, again, from a state of someone who's doing it 100% of the time. When I'm able to, it feels like a beautiful, beautiful victory of like, wow, I put the things on my plate that I know are nourishing to me. I'm well aware when I do eat the things that I'm like, it might cause gas or maybe some acid reflux or something like that. So it's like your body's always talking to you. I hope this is an invitation to listen, and just remembering that food is the vital energy. The number one way we interact with our environment is taking something from the external, making it internal, and allowing that to permeate and to radiate into our being, into our vitality, into our wholesomeness. And I think that's what nourishment is all about. So thank you so much for listening. I hope to catch you on the next video, and thank you again. Bye.